Testing my sound. Gosh, it's not very loud. Um, Good evening, Doug. How's the sound?
Sounds very nice.
Good. Thank you. Okay, Doug, if we could go on the record now.
You're on the record, Your Honor. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Maryland Public Service Commission's public comment hearing in case number 9671. It is Thursday, January 27th, 2022, and it's approximately 6:30 p.m. My name is Kristen Lawrence, and I'm a public utility law judge at the Maryland Public Service Commission. Case number 9671 is the application of Maryland Water Service, Inc. for authority to revise and consolidate rates for water and sewage disposal services. The application was filed on September 30, 2021. The rates Maryland Water Service is proposing would increase its Maryland base distribution rates by $1,990,022, which would represent a 108.7% increase in water revenue and an 87.87% increase in sewer revenues. The company is also requesting to consolidate its rates into uniform rate schedules for each customer class and across all its systems. The company has the Pinto system in Cumberland, Maryland, the Highland Estates system also in Cumberland, the province's water treatment plant in Severn, Maryland, the Green Ridge system in Bel Air, Maryland, and the Lakeside Vista water system in Joppa, Maryland. The proposed rate increase would result in a bill increase to the average Pinto water customer of 84%. The proposed rate increase would result in a bill increase to the average Highland Estates water customer of 68%. The proposed rate increase would result in a bill increase to the average province's customer of 255%. The proposed rate increase would result in a bill increase to the average Green Ridge customer of 30%, and also an increase of 30% to the average Lake Vista customer. Parties to this case include the company, the Maryland Office of People's Counsel, and the Commission's technical staff. Another public comment hearing will be held on Tuesday, February 8th at 6:30 p.m., also virtual, to receive further public comment on the application. Written comments on the application may be submitted electronically or by first-class mail on or before February 25th, 2022. going to share my screen with the website for how to do that. So this is the Commission's website at sorry about that, psc.state.md.us. And if you are in the middle of the page, under the Tools section, which is about in the middle of the page, if you drop down 2 lines, you'll see Make a Public Comment. And that's how you can electronically file a public comment. So once you click on that, instructions for logging into the public comment drop box are located under that. Commenters utilizing the public comment Dropbox are required to complete a one-time registration. All comments must include a reference to case number 9671. If comments are submitted by first-class mail, comments must be addressed to Andrew S. Johnston, Executive Secretary, Maryland Public Service Commission, William Donald Schaefer Tower, 6 St. Paul Street, 16th floor, Baltimore, 21202. And I will post that address at the end of the hearing as well for anyone who needs to catch that. So tonight we'll begin with a presentation by Maryland Water Service, followed by brief statements from the Maryland Office of People's Counsel and then technical staff of the Commission. This is a contested proceeding that is ongoing. I cannot discuss the merits of the case or answer any questions about the facts of the case since it's a matter under my consideration. But if you do have questions, OPC and staff can try to answer those after we take comments. My role tonight is to listen to your views and to include your comments in the public record. They are being recorded by a court reporter. Input from customers is a very important part of this case, and I appreciate the time that people have taken to join us this evening. When I state your name, please unmute yourself, give your full name, and spell it for the court reporter. So I think I saw that Joseph Beach was with us. Mr. Beach, did you want to speak at this time?
No, Your Honor, I just want to I'm planning on speaking at the February public comment period.
Okay, very well.
Thank you.
Is Cynthia Williams with us this evening?
I'm here.
Okay, would you like to provide comments at this time?
Sure. My name is Cynthia Williams, CYNTHIA WILLIAMS. I am the president of the Province's Civic Association. I'm representing over 900 homeowners. And I have several issues that I would like to speak about. First, I would like to know why no one informed.
One second. Can you speak directly into your computer? Because when you turn your head, you fade out.
Okay, sure. First of all, I'd like to know why no one informed the province's homeowners that our water utility company had changed. I would have thought someone was supposed to notify us. And also this price change. Nobody notified us of that either, the proposed price change. No homeowners got anything in writing or telephone call or email, nothing. So it was just lucky that I found out about it a couple of days ago. I would have thought there would have been a requirement to notify the homeowners. So next, according to Maryland Water Services data, out of the 4 communities they serve in Maryland, the provinces will suffer the most impact, with our rates increasing by 255%. The other 3 communities will see increases in their water bills of between 30 and 84%. According to MWS's report, our average monthly water bill in the provinces would increase from $22.60 a month to $80.20 a month, more than tripling our costs. Many of our homeowners have been paying the minimum charge for 10,000 gallons of water per month for years, when we only use 4, 5, or 6 gallons. So we're already overpaying. Well, we already have been overpaying. And why are they proposing raising the price of water from $1.57 a gallon to $11.73 a gallon? That's a 750% increase. Anne Arundel County water is only $2.83 a gallon. It just seems outrageous. And one of the reasons MWS states for the rise in prices is declining consumption, which I don't understand. How can there be declining consumption of water when so many people have been working from home the last couple of years due to the pandemic? Another reason they state is that their earnings were negative 1.88% during the test year, which ended on June 30th, 2021. I wonder what were their earnings over the previous 13 years since our last rate increase went into effect in July of 2008. It's hard to determine why they would need such a huge increase. We don't know what their earnings have been for more than 1 year. Many of the province's homeowners are retired older people on a fixed income or young military families stationed at Fort Meade, and they can't afford to have their water bills increased by that much. While we do appreciate that our infrastructure in the provinces is 50 years old and does require funds for upgrade and repair, we do not believe that granting them a 108.7% requested increase in their water revenue in order to provide their investors with income should come at the cost of the province's homeowners trying to make ends meet. Thank you.
Thank you. I did want to actually start with a presentation by the company. I apologize, Mr. Biegelmans. And Ms. Williams, I can come back to you if you have more comments after the company's presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, and thank you everyone for joining tonight, either on WebEx or YouTube. My name is David Biegelmans, and I'm an attorney with the law firm Gordon Feinblatt, and I represent Maryland Water Service, Inc. in this case. I also have with me tonight Mr. Bryce Mendenhall, who's the president of Mid-Atlantic Operations for the company. In addition, we're joined by Mr. Anthony Gray, a financial planning and analysis manager for the company. Mr. Mendenhall and myself are taking notes tonight. So if you have any questions about this case or the company's service in general, we'll write them down. And our plan is to submit a response in writing to the Public Service Commission in about 5 business days. The response will be public and it'll be available in the docket of this case, which is case number 9671. Mr. Mendenhall will now provide a brief overview of the company's application and key projects included within the request. Again, thank you very much for joining tonight, and we look forward to hearing your comments and questions.
Good evening. Coming through.
We can hear you.
Okay, just making sure. Good evening. As David said, my name is Bryce Mendenhall. I'm employed by Corex and serve as the president for the Mid-Atlantic Business Unit. In this position, I oversee the operations of Maryland Water Service and all of the divisions that were mentioned earlier, in addition to water and wastewater facilities in Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. As David, I would like to thank everyone for attending this evening. We look forward to hearing your comments and having the opportunity to respond to those in due time. I did want to take a few minutes and discuss the reason the company has requested a rate increase from the Maryland Public Service Commission, including some essential projects completed that are included within the request. A little bit of history as far as historical rate cases. The company filed its most recent application for an increase in its base rates for the Pinto and Highland Estates systems on June 30th of 2016. Green Ridge and Lakeside Vista Systems, the most recent rate case was filed March 31st of 2014. And then finally, Province's most recent rate case was filed on December 23rd of 2007. The company does recognize that the COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in significant economic hardships for our customers. That said, the company also recognizes the importance of water and wastewater services during a public health emergency and appreciates the obligations that come with delivering these necessary resources to our customers. However, under present rates, the company is unable to meet its operating costs and earn a reasonable return on its investments. To continue to provide these essential services, the company must have rates that allow it to provide safe, adequate, and reliable service. The company cannot defer capital investments. We must continue to fairly compensate our employees and ensure our financial stability. In this rate application, as was earlier stated, the company has proposed consolidating rates for all of its systems, meaning that all water systems will have the same set of rates. The benefit of rate consolidation is that the company would be able to spread capital cost over a larger base of customers rather than smaller individual systems as in the past. Ultimately, consolidation is recognized as being a benefit to utility customers and helps to minimize rate increases in future proceedings. Now I'd like to talk about some of the key capital projects that we've had. Over the past several years, we've conducted several enhancements to our systems. Green Ridge System Update was a project that was driven by safety concerns and water capacity enhancements. We replaced 2 underground treatment facilities, and they were also recognized as underground bunkers. And they were replaced with more modern above ground facilities, number one, for health and safety requirements to protect our operational team, and then also to enhance our water quality. In the Pinto wastewater system, we performed a clean and televise project. This project consisted of cleaning and televising approximately 60,000 linear feet of sewer collection mains in the system. The goal of the project was identify deficiencies in the piping network and pinpoint those exact locations for future repairs. Moving on and staying with Pinto, we also performed a water main replacement project. The project was initiated to replace several water mains that were determined to be improperly rated for water system working pressures and were installed by the original developer of the system. In addition to increasing water quality and quantity, the project replaced several inoperable system valves and completed an internal looped line to reduce water outages and increase water quality in doing so. In the provinces, we completed a chemical feed upgrade project. The project replaced antiquated and outdated treatment components to increase reliability, capability of the plant, and water quality. In addition to replacing the older components, the project also allowed for technical automation of treatment at the water plant itself. At our Pinto system, on our wastewater system, again, we did work. We replaced seven existing lagoon aerators that support our wastewater treatment process in the lagoons. In addition, we did some electrical upgrades of components that were replaced and upgraded to promote treatment reliability. In Lakeside Vista, the company engaged a contractor to rehabilitate the interior of its large hydropneumatic water storage tank. Based on data received from revolving tank inspections that the company performs on a proactive basis, the recommendation was made to completely renovate the tank interior. This project not only maximizes the lifespan of the tank, but protects the quality of the water held within. And finally, in response to the earlier project I talked about with the clean and televise in the Pinto system, we completed a sewer capital improvement project. This project was driven by the earlier project, as I noted, and targeted those areas of deficiency that were noted. The project will have a positive environmental impact through the reduction of sanitary overflows experienced during heavy precipitation and rainfall events. In conclusion, once again, I want to thank you for your time and allowing me to speak. We look forward to hearing your comments tonight and looking forward to being able to respond. But on behalf of the company, thank you for my time.
Mr. Bugmans, are we going to hear from Mr. Gray at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so the company's presentation is complete?
Correct, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Okay. Maryland Office of People's Counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. My name is Nikki Wiggins. I am here on behalf of Maryland Office of People's Counsel. I also have with me Mr. Fred Hoover, also with OPC. Maryland Office of People's Counsel represents the interests of Maryland's residential ratepayers before the Public Service Commission. As Judge Lawrence stated, we are parties to this case. We have examined the company's application and filed our own testimony, which is also publicly available in the docket for case 9671 on the website of the Public Service Commission. We have provided our recommendations for adjustments to the company's required revenue, as well as adjustments to rate design and rate structure and implementation to avoid large rate increases for any of the company's customers across the board. We appreciate the members of the public taking their time to come here. We understand your concerns and we appreciate that you're here to voice them. I am here to answer questions. My contact information and Mr. Hoover's is also available in the public docket for anyone who would like to reach out at any point and ask any questions or give additional feedback. Thank you.
And commission staff.
Good evening. My name is Catherine Moriarty, and I'm Assistant Staff Attorney for the Maryland Public Service Commission. Staff's role in this case is to assist the Commission in complying with its statutory duty to complete the record. Staff has reviewed Maryland Water Services application for authority to revise and consolidate rates, charges, and tariff provisions for water and sewage disposal services. The purpose of staff's testimony in this case is to ensure that Maryland Water Services rates are just and reasonable and in the public interest under the Maryland Public Utility Article 4-101, and the application follows the dictates of the Public Utility Article Section 4-307 for possible consolidation of rates. Staff recently filed direct testimony, which is staff's initial response to Maryland Water Services application. Staff is recommending a return on equity of a 9.7% and a return on rate base of a 7.28%. Staff's recommended rates can be found in Ms. Paige Shaw's direct testimony on page 26 under Table 11. Ms. Shaw's direct testimony can be accessed on the Commission website under the case jacket for case number 9671. I look forward to hearing public input on this matter, and thank you for your time.
Okay, Ms. Williams, I want to just give you the opportunity, since I kind of went out of order there, that was supposed to happen before your comments. If you want to add anything now, you can always come back at the end as well, if you think of anything else.
Yes, thank you. I would like to add one thing. I understand that MWS is planning on making capital improvements. I'm looking at one of the charts in their presentation. The province's chemical feed upgrade, I believe they mentioned that the cost was $154,000 roughly. Whereas if you look at the other communities where they're making upgrades, there's another one for 1.3 million. So that's almost 10 times what the infrastructure, pardon me, improvements that they're making in the other community. And it's difficult for me to wrap my head around why we would be included with them and be charged the same rates when their infrastructure is costing, the upgrades are costing 10 times more than ours are. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person that I have on my list is James and Cassandra Bryant.
Yep, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Bryant. Would you like me to spell that?
For the court reporter, please. Yes.
Sure. Cassandra, Bryant, Bryant.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm just a regular citizen. I'm a customer of Green Ridge in Harford County. So I did write down a few comments. So if you'd like, I will read them right now. Okay, so as a customer of Green Ridge in Harford County, it it was definitely, admittedly, a little difficult, and it did take me a little bit of digging to even find information about what our water company is trying to do. So from what I understand, in our community, the water company would like to increase our rates up to 30%, specifically, and obviously much higher in other communities. It does, just from my opinion, appear a little misleading that the Maryland Water Service, Inc. is requesting authority to, quote, revise and consolidate rates, end quote. I feel that the wording of this in and of itself is misleading to the public, and it kind of makes it sound like it's trying to do something like the opposite of a rate hike, which is what it would be. I only found out about this hearing through an email from the water company stating the time and the date of this public hearing, but there were no further details or background information or context provided to our customers. And I just don't think the water companies being as forthright as they could be with their customers. I feel like that's evident from, it seems like we have maybe a smaller turnout of citizens attending this or speaking tonight. And also the fact that none of my neighbors seem to be aware of this potential increase, and nobody's really talking about it at all. Obviously, my stance on it is that I'm opposed to rising rates because a 30% increase would be a high and unreasonable potential increase to us as customers. And I feel that the explanation about a fair rate of return needed for shareholders seems a little bit vague. And a question I would pose would be, what would constitute a fair rate of return for an investor? Because in that case, what would constitute a fair price for us as customers? And my last comment I'd like to make is that according to Harford County, for citizens of my community, using this water company is basically our one and only option that we have to use. We don't have any other options available for public water. So as customers, this basically kind of like ties our hands and gives us no freedom of choice to give our business elsewhere when the water company decides it wants to raise our bill by 30%. So those are really all the comments I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is Dan Matlin? I think I see.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to read this.
Can you, Mr. Matlin, can you state your
sorry.
name for the record and spell it for the court reporter?
Yes, I'm sorry. My name is Dan Matlin, D-A-N. Matlin is M-A-T-L-I-N. So I'm a homeowner in the provinces community, to which Cynthia Williams spoke to initially. And I want to thank Cynthia for, she summarized a lot of the points that I had, but I just want to reiterate many of them. So basically, one phrase that best summarizes my take on all of this is, are you kidding me? This whole thing makes no sense. It's outrageous that this proposal is even allowed to get this far. I think we're being treated very unfairly. The province's rates are being quadrupled from, our monthly rate right now. It would be multiplied by 4 if this proposed rate goes through. This sharp increase is unfair and unwarranted. And as other people have pointed out, most people in the provinces are not upper middle class, sometimes even not considered middle class, and can have trouble making ends meet with this sharp increase in a water bill. A water utility is something people, need, they live on. As other people have also mentioned, all surrounding area water services are significantly cheaper than proposed rate increase from Maryland Water Service. I looked at WSSC, which serves part of PG County and Montgomery counties. They're at $6.51, or $6.51 per 1,000 gallons. The city of Frederick is at $5.57 per 1,000 gallons. Carroll County is at $6.74 per 1,000 gallons. Howard County is at $2.87 per 1,000 gallons. Anne Arundel County, which is what we live in, is at $2.83 per 1,000 gallons. The proposed rate by Maryland Water Services is $11.73 per 1,000 gallons. That is ridiculous. It's completely out of family with surrounding area water services. So I'd ask why? Why is it so out of family? What are you guys doing wrong? We're being told that part of the reason for this rate increase is because of newly made investments. I know the earlier presentations mentioned, some of those investments. I mean, we as the customers had no say in those investments, whether they were to go through or how the money was to be spent. Were they all necessary to maintain the same level of water service? Cynthia mentioned a very good point about, you mentioned the chemical feed upgrade project for the provinces, which was a very low dollar amount compared to some of the other projects. And yet the provinces is being asked to carry the burden, the bulk of the burden for this increase of, 255% increase. How is that fair to us? Another stated reason for the rate increase is declining consumption. So I guess that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Why should we be forced to pay more because we are using less? This is also incongruous with adding investments to infrastructure. If we're using less, you'd think, it wouldn't cost as much to add to infrastructure. Also, this incentivizes people to use more in the future. You're, saying that you need to increase prices because we're using less. You're incentivizing higher use, which is just overall bad for the environment. And again, just doesn't make any sense to me. An example of those, the test year ended in June 30th. The company said that their rate of return on adjusted rate base earned, which to me, I don't understand what that means, but basically they're in the negative 1.88% of earnings. So I guess, how does this small loss justify our fourfold increase in our rates? If you're going to say that it's to cover, multiple years of losses, which, like Cynthia said, we don't have any insight into the numbers from previous years, but if it was to cover multiple years of losses, does that mean that our rates are going to return to a more reasonable current price after the company recoups its losses? I doubt it. Part of the reason that such a drastic rate increase in the provinces is to make all service areas Maryland Water Service the same rate. Maryland Water Service reasons that this consolidation makes things more efficient, yet the proposed rate is grossly out of family with surrounding areas, so it doesn't seem efficient at all. And then finally, if other water service utilities and municipalities are so much cheaper, why can't the provinces or any of these other communities that are being affected switch to municipal supply, like Anne Arundel County or the county municipal that they live in? Like Cassandra mentioned, being forced at this higher rate, like we don't have a choice for this. We're being forced. We can't choose a water service. We're being forced to a higher rate of expense. It's no different than having a monopoly business. We are forced to pay that higher rate than the rest of the community. That's just not fair. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a Michael Aretz with us this evening? Okay. How about a Bradley Helm? Luther Woodruff. Okay. I see on my screen an Alice Benton. Did you wish to be heard?
I'm with Maryland Water Service.
Okay. David Clark.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said.
No comments from me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Matthew Laporto.
I'm with Maryland Water Service as well.
Okay. Robert Yarborough.
I'm also with Maryland Water Service.
Okay. Is there, I can see there's someone on the phone, or there was. Is there someone else this evening who would like to be heard?
William Phillips with Maryland Water Service.
Good evening to you. Okay, what I'm going to do at this time, because there were a couple of references made to the case docket or the case jacket. So I'm going to share my screen again and show everyone how you get to the case files. So again, this is the Maryland Public Service Commission website, psc.state.md.us. And now on the left side, you'll see a green tab that says case search, and then a box below it. In that box, you would type in the case number 9671, click on the button that says case/docket number, and then you would hit go. And after a little period of time, the case jacket comes up, and it'll start with the first thing that was filed, the application. And if you click on the one, you'll be able to open a PDF, which will be the application and everything that was filed with the application. This will go chronological. It'll show you everything that's been filed in the docket. And Mr. Bugelman's counsel for Maryland Water Service indicated that they intend to, in about 5 business days, file in this docket answers to questions that they heard this evening. So that's where you'd find this. So you'd scroll down, and then there should be a new filing in a few days with that information, and that's how you would access that. And again, it was Ms. Wiggins from the Office of People's Counsel who can answer questions. As she said, they represent residential ratepayers, and also Ms. Moriarty from staff can answer questions that you have. Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard at this time? Okay, I would encourage those of you who did attend this evening to let people know there's going to be another hearing on February 8th, 6:30 p.m. virtual. If they don't get a notice of it, if they wish to participate, they should send an email to psc.pulj@gmail.com. That's the email in the notice. And by noon the day before the hearing, so on February 7th, send an email indicating that you wish to participate, and you'll be sent an invite to the WebEx hearing for February 8th. It'll be conducted much like this evening's hearing. And the last thing I'm going to do is again share my screen and show people the address to which they can send written comments if they want to mail them in by first class mail. But while I'm doing that, if anyone thinks of another question or has an additional comment, just unmute yourself and let me know that. So again, this is the address to mail written comments to. And please reference case number 9671 in both your written comments and any electronic comments that you file with the Commission. I want to thank everyone again for participating this evening. And unless anyone has any additional comments, I don't hear any. So this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.
We're off the record, Your Honor.
Thank you.